All right, so what if I told you that one of the absolute best sci-fi movies of all time is, secretly, a perfect explainer for computer science? Seriously. Today, we're going to jack in and deconstruct the digital world of The Matrix, and maybe learn a thing or two about the code that runs everything.
So let's just start with this kind of a wild question. What if you're not, well, real? What if you're actually living inside a giant, super advanced video game? I mean, everything you see, everything you touch, it's all just a simulation. That's the whole idea behind The Matrix, right? And honestly, it's the perfect way to kick off this whole thing.
Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1. Welcome to the program. And for this to work, we have to stop thinking about The Matrix as just a movie. From now on, we're going to look at it for what it really is, which is basically just one massive, complex piece of software.
And this, right here, is the key to everything we're going to talk about. Just get this one idea in your head. The world of The Matrix, it's basically a giant operating system, an OS. You know, it's the foundational code, the base layer of software that controls absolutely everything else that happens.
So now that we've got that main idea down, let's move on to Section 2, inside the operating system. We're going to start breaking down the basic pieces. You know, what actually makes this whole digital world tick?
Okay, so first up, you've got The Matrix itself. That's the operating system. It's the main software that runs everything you see and do. Think of it like Windows or Mac OS, but, you know, way more realistic. It's the program that sets all the rules for its reality. Everything from gravity keeping your feet on the ground to what a state tastes like. It's the platform that everything else runs on.
So, what about all the people living inside this thing? Well, they're basically just users. Or you could even think of them as individual programs, just running inside the OS. They're all just living their lives, following the rules of the program, going to work, and they have absolutely no idea that they're part of this bigger system. And you know that feeling of déjà vu they talk about in the movie? That's just a bug in the code. It's a little glitch that happens when the system gets an update.
Of course, no system is perfect, right? There's always going to be some kind of conflict, which brings us straight to Section 3, admins versus hackers. And really, this is the heart of the story. It's this constant battle between the ones who enforce the system's rules and the ones who know how to break them.
So, on one side, you've got the agents, and these guys are the system's ultimate security detail. You can think of them as the system administrators, or maybe even like a super powerful antivirus program. Their whole job is just to enforce the rules and, well, delete any unauthorized users, any viruses. But here's the cool part. What happens when your antivirus program itself gets a virus? That's Agent Smith for you. He's basically malware that's gone rogue, and now he's threatening the entire system from the inside out.
And who's on the other side of that fight? You've got the ethical hackers, Morpheus, Trinity, and the rest of the crew. These are the people who've seen behind the curtain. They get how the system's code actually works, and they know exactly how to exploit its weaknesses. You know that all-white room, the construct, where they load up all the guns and training programs? That's basically their developer sandbox. It's like having direct API access to the system, letting them prepare for their missions.
So it really boils down to two totally opposite goals, right? You've got the agents who are all about enforcing the rules and maintaining control, and then you have the hackers who know the system's secrets and are trying to bend those rules. One side is trying to protect the system at all costs, and the other, well, they're looking for the one, someone who can just break the whole thing wide open.
Okay, so let's just do a super quick recap. The Matrix itself is the operating system. The people living inside are the users or programs. The agents are the system admins, or the antivirus, and Morpheus and Trinity, there are ethical hackers. This whole setup, this entire framework, it perfectly sets the stage for one very special user who's about to turn everything upside down.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, gaining root access. See, in any operating system, you've got different levels of permission for users, and in The Matrix, one user is about to get the ultimate clearance level.
And enter Neo. At first, he's just a regular user, you know, just another program running along like everybody else. But then, he discovers something absolutely incredible. He has root access. Now, in computer terms, root is the holy grail. It means you have full administrative privileges. You don't just use the system, you have the power to change its most fundamental rules.
Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like this. It's like having cheat codes for a video game, but the game is reality. Suddenly, the laws of physics aren't really laws anymore. For a guy like Neo, Gravity, the speed of a bullet, they're all just lines of code. And they're lines of code that he can literally rewrite on the fly.
And you can actually watch this whole journey play out step by step in the movie. First, he has to even discover that the system exists, right? That's him waking up. Then, he has to learn the rules, which is all that training with Morpheus. Pretty soon, he starts bending the rules. That's when he's dodging bullets. But the final leap, the moment he becomes the true system admin, that's when he can just rewrite the rules completely and stop those bullets dead in their tracks.
So this incredible power, it brings us to our final section today, the ultimate cheat code, because this is really what the hacker's mission was all about from the very start.
See, the prophecy of the One isn't really some mystical legend. When you look at it through our lens, it's really a story about a user who will gain total, complete, unrestricted root access. This isn't just someone who can bend or break the rules. We're talking about a user who can fundamentally rewrite the entire operating system from the inside. Literally, the ultimate master of the game.
So yeah, we'll leave you with this to chew on. The Matrix uses this incredible computer science metaphor to explore these huge ideas about control and reality and freedom. And that kind of brings it all back to you, doesn't it? If you had that kind of root access to your world, if you have that one ultimate cheat code, what's the one rule you change?